hydroxychloroquine for COVID-19 recovery. You will not see this on CNN. You won't see this on MSNBC, ABC News, Washington Post, New York Times. You will not see this story in any of those outlets because it's a Democrat that is literally saying right here, a Democratic New York City councilman says hydroxychloroquine saved his life. Congratulations, Mayor de Blasio. The traffic has been solved in downtown Manhattan because everyone has left. Look at this.
This is a Saturday view of Madison Avenue in New York City. Look at the number of people. I'm standing in the middle of the street for almost like 5 minutes. There's absolutely no car. This is unbelievable. Look at. I've never seen Manhattan like this.
He's never seen Manhattan like this. And guys, when the last few weeks that I was the last week that I was working, I saw parts of the Bronx and they were completely destroyed, and Manhattan being completely vacant. If you guys have never been to New York City in your life, it's unlike anything you've seen in the world. It truly is. When New York City before all this, it was a fun place to go to. I would go at least 4 or 5 times a year, either see a Yankee game or just go to the city with my wife. Just going to the city and seeing there's a lot of fun things to do in New York City. A lot of fun experiences, a lot of amazing restaurants. There's so much history there. And now people are leaving en masse. They don't want to come back. And I told you guys that story from last week. Cuomo is saying, literally begging residents to come back and that he'll buy them a drink. But don't forget, Cuomo, you have to buy him food. You have to buy him food too, or New York won't be able to serve you. He didn't say that in any of his statement. Completely destroyed New York. Absolutely destroyed it. This is from the White Rabbit here on Twitter. This man is talking about the transportation methods of these people getting shipped here in these big shipping containers. Let's just watch this real quick.
One of the most overlooked aspects of human trafficking is the method of transportation. How are they moving these people all around the world? I believe it's through container ships. I'm currently standing on a container ship with roughly 10,000 containers. Maybe 5 to 10% of the cargo that comes in and out of the United States is scanned, x-rayed, and looked at by CBP. Any one of these containers you see on this ship could have about 75 people in it. We know, I've talked to CBP agents before, they have found containers with advanced life support systems, food and supplies for these people to live in these containers for a substantial amount of time while they move from port to port. I believe it's a huge problem. I honestly believe, I have seen with my own eyes, I have seen families, I have seen children, we've seen stowaways, and it really makes you wonder, is this how they're moving them all, right?
Is this how they're moving them all? Is this how they're moving them all? And obviously, yeah, it is. All these kids go missing. Millions of kids go missing. People in general go missing all the time in the United States and all over the world. And where do they go missing and how do they get to these people? He said 5 to 10% of those containers are x-rayed and looked through. Because it's impossible, logistically impossible as of right now, I think. Maybe there is technology that can check all these containers, but as of right now, as I know, there's so much that they're only able to put the resources into checking 5 to 10%. So think about that. 90 to 95% of these containers are going unchecked, and they have found, himself personally, advanced life-saving technology inside these containers to keep these people alive while they are inside them. He said they can fit up to 75 people in these containers. 75. I would love to know how much on the market 75 young women can go for, children can go for, and this is why it's $1 billion market, and it's the biggest problem we're facing today. And mainstream media does not want to talk about it. And just the last story here, 34 men arrested in undercover operations targeting would-be child sexual predators. This was out in California. Again, another major pedophile ring broken. 34 men were arrested in an undercover operation targeting would-be child sexual predators in Fresno County. Sheriff Margaret Mims announced Friday. Overall, 34 men have been arrested and booked into jail on various charges relating to arranging to meet with a child for sex ranging from 19 to 63. And I'm not going to get into the details of the article, but guys, if you really put in the effort to look, almost every single day these people are being arrested. These rings are being broken down, not just in this country, all over the world. And I've never seen an effort even before I was awake. I've never seen so many headlines and so many stories about these rings being broken up and the attention that human trafficking is given, and pedophilia is given, and these disgusting people that are just prey on our children. They prey on our children. And this is where I want to just end off. At some point, doing what I'm doing now, because I watched a video by the guy who made he made this video that was on Amazon. It was up for like a year and a half. It was about child sex trafficking, and it got taken down by Amazon like a week ago. The guy who wrote it was in Hollywood for 20 years. He was around these people for a very long time. You could tell he was convicted with what he was talking about. And he said all these left versus right politics, all these divisional, all these division narratives with BLM and Antifa, and all these topics that I talk about on this channel, a lot of us talk about. He really broke it down and said none of this actually matters, because really what matters more than anything right now is the preying of kids. And I went through some of the Ghislaine Maxwell documents, the new ones, Jeffrey Epstein documents, Ghislaine Maxwell documents, whatever you want to call them, the latest 2024 documents that came out. And Ghislaine Maxwell is quoted as saying that she looks at the children that they preyed upon as trash and garbage.